Hello, Oga, unmute your microphone.
Hello, dear friends, again, and welcome to ALLATRA TV Africa, to our live broadcast. And my name is Olga, and my co-host today is Kanu. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Oga.
And joining our broadcast today is our guest, Sam Dossa from the United Kingdom. Sam is a public speaker, a specialist in psychometric assessment, and a coach on emotional intelligence. Sam, thanks for joining us. Okay, and Sam, as an emotional intelligence, says that understanding one's emotions is a key to understanding and giving others without judging. So today we are going to share Sam's vision on the creative society and how we can strengthen friendship by sharing without judging. And we'll discuss the importance of the 8 foundations of the creative society. In particular, we'll focus on the foundation number 5, which is creative ideology. And just in the beginning, I'll remind you this foundation. I'll ask our technical support to put it on screen, and I'll read it for you to set the background for our conversation. Creative ideology means that ideology should be aimed at popularizing the best human qualities and stopping everything directed against the human. The main priority is the priority of humanity, high spiritual and moral aspirations of a humanist virtue, mutual respect, and strengthening of friendship, creating conditions for the development and education of human with a capital H, cultivation of moral value in each person and society, prohibition of propaganda of violence, condemnation, and the denunciation of any form of division, aggression, and anti-humane manifestations.
Yes, the Earth Foundation, a vision, or let me say a model of the creative society. That is a society where every person on the planet wants to live happy and, where everyone lives a fulfilled life. Currently, the ALLATRA International Public Movement is spreading information and as well as expanding awareness of the creative society in more than 140 countries around the world. And then they do this using what we call the CIS handshake rule. Thanks to this CIS handshake rule and information technology, a lot more people are getting together to discuss this common vision of creative society. By the way, the CIS handshake rule is simply a theory that we are all connected, and not fewer than 6 social connections. And we have experimented with this, and we can tell you that it works fine. Each time we have our guests on our broadcast is either somebody that had met us, through another participant on our program. And today, we are going to continue testing this CIS handshake rule. We are going to ask our guests, during the program to nominate someone who he thinks, shares the same ideas or who is interested in sharing ideas of the creative society. That is towards the end of this program, our guest is going to nominate someone and we are going to, try and reach out to this person and invite him for our future program. And I want to also let our guests and our viewers to know that they too could be part of this program. All they need to do is to send us an email through this address, info@allatraunites.com. It will get to us and you could also be part of this program. Thank you, Olga.
Yeah, thanks, Kanu. And surely, please also share this video just now with the friends on social media. You can use 2 hashtags, Creative Society and Allatraunites, so more people can know about this broadcast and other amazing stuff we have at our channel. And so our broadcast will be in 3 parts. Now we'll ask our dear guest to introduce himself. Then we'll ask how he envisions the creative society. And we'll finish with discussing the 8 foundations of the creative society and ask our guests to focus on one. And so please, dear Sam, we would like to hear more about you and what you do and what inspires you in your very interesting job.
Thank you, Kanu. Thank you, Olga, for inviting me to this amazing platform, CreativeSociety. My name is Sam Dossa, and I'm based in United Kingdom, city of Birmingham. My area of what I call it diversity is emotional intelligence. I'm a coach, I'm a business coach, I'm a psychometric assessor, I'm a mentor, I'm a learner. It's about learning every day new things. But what I trying to create is the diversity in my way of connecting with a lot of people around the globe as a podcaster myself. So I do a lot of podcasting as well. And my channel is Chai with Sam Dossa.
It's all right. Sam, our dear guest, we would want to know what inspired you. What led you to emotional intelligence, to teaching emotional intelligence. Your resume is very rich, and so we want to share with you what inspired you.
So inspiration and aspiration started since 2004, I would say. I'm very blessed. I'm a father of three daughters. I got three daughters, and I have a set of twins. And within society or within a community which I grew up is more about service to others. So we have institutions where we work in collaboration with other institutions to support each other and also create a connectivity to people. What inspires me further is to helping a lot of people in a different area, different diversity. And I also been a key player in doing careers coaching with youth, going into schools and helping school with mentorship as well. I'm still a mentor for some non-profit organizations where I mentor my mentees, and that's actually inspired me to become a coach. Did my counseling diploma, did my psychometric assessment certifications and diplomas, and that allowed me to become somebody who understand the human physiology, psychology, and emotions, where plays a key role in our life, daily life, as how to understand your own emotions first before you can start understanding people's emotions, because emotions plays a significant role in men differently and in women completely differently. So that's inspired me to understand more and more, and that's why I become more engrossed with emotional intelligence now, with a lot of things what I do with my workshops, with my career within the individuals or in their businesses.
That's a great one. That's a great one, Sam. Well, I was just wondering, how important is it that people should know about this? How important is it that people should know about controlling their emotion, about this emotional intelligence? Can you share a little more bit on it?
Sure. Now, give you an example. Let's take an example, because most of our things about us we have to learn from examples. So I'm extracting this from Stephen Covey book, which is about how he talk about people understanding their emotions. So this is a scenario: a man and a woman have a child. So the man wakes up and he started getting ready. Wife already in the kitchen getting the baby or the girl or the boy ready for school, and he comes down from his dress up and ready for go to work. He was sitting on his table to have a breakfast, and suddenly the boy or the girl spilled the juice, and the juice spilled on his clothes, and he got really angry, and he had a moment of scream, and then the child started crying. Wife started getting settling down the child while cleaning everything up. He went upstairs changing his clothes, and by the time he came back, the school bus has already left. Wife was upset, child is upset. He collected the child, got in the car, rushed to the school, dropped the child off. He went to work, forgot his briefcase at home. So the chaotic situation in the morning was unbearable. And the whole day went like this, and he did not enjoy, he did not speak to his wife, he did not communicate it. And you can imagine the whole day went very unsettled because the emotion was very high in the morning. So the writer says, let's take this scenario again next morning. Again, the same scenario. Child is eating the breakfast, mother is standing in the kitchen, man comes down, sat on the chair, juice was spilled. Besides screaming, he just said, be careful next time. Get himself settled, no sort of unsettledness between anything. He went upstairs, he changed, came down, took the child to the bus stop, put in the bus, said bye to her, came back, collected his briefcase, collected and said bye to his wife, went to work. A pleasant day. So you can see there are two scenarios we saw, how quickly we can shift in the emotions. And emotional intelligence is all about learning your own emotions. And the first pillar of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. Aware about your own self. Know your own feelings. We jump onto the conclusion very quickly, not understanding. Let's say, for example, you are on the road and somebody cuts you off on the road and you feel, how could this person then do that? Can't he just stay in the lane? And you might have the emotion outburst of using wrong words or hand gestures or something like that. But you never know, that person who cut you off might be rushing to the hospital. It might be an emergency for him or something else, we don't know. But because we can't control our own emotions, we always outburst ourselves in different scenarios. So is learning about, and this is a learnable skill, emotional intelligence is a learnable skill and you learn it. We are not learned this emotion skills before, so we can always learn it. Somebody are very emotional. They can't control their emotions. If you show them a movie which has some sad scenes, the person started to cry because they can't handle those sort of emotional things. So it's all about learning, and we are all learners. I'm not an expert, I'm still learning. I'm learning every day. So this is how you channel, how you started to learn about emotional intelligence.
Yeah. Thank you very much for such an explanation. And your example truly shows that some big scenarios are often start with some very small things. And imagine this person who had a juice spilled on his suit was some politician who had to make some big decision during this day. And this outburst of emotions could harm I don't know, maybe the life of the entire country, or at least of some community. And that's how the life of the society starts with some small things. And in the scenario you explained about a driving situation, it could lead to a dangerous situation and even to death of some person. And the concept of emotional intelligence, as we see, is really complex, and it is really close to the idea of the creative society in a way that every person should be responsible first for oneself and then responsible for the entire society. And the creative society is as we envision it, is a happy and comfortable world where everyone has all the necessities, and it is a desire of every person. And as we said before, in different countries, people are discussing the ideas how they can build such a society right today. And from your rich experience from human interaction and cultural diversity and emotional intelligence, what is your vision of the society where all people can live in comfort, like the creative society?
So my vision would be to have a harmonious relationship with everybody. We shouldn't be blaming each other. We are humans. We all make mistakes. So it's not meant that if you make a mistake, you should point that person and make that person to be name and shame in the community. We are all humans. let me share a story. I just heard a story. So it would be rather, I will dialogue with you with the story. So a university professor had about 40 children sitting in his class. And in a moment, a student got up and he said, "Sir, I was celebrating my birthday today, and my father has given me a very, very expensive watch. And I went outside for a break for 5 minutes, which we had, and I left my watch in the classroom, and somebody stole it. Somebody stole that watch from me." So the professor said, "Okay, we all are here in this classroom, and it will be easy for us to identify who stole your watch. So why don't you all stand in a line and have this black sort of stripe, or what you call it, a ribbon, and put it on your eyes, so nobody will know as who was actually has stolen it." Because what professor wants to show is he wanted to give a lesson to the class. So everybody put a stripe on their eyes, and the professor started going to each and every person and touching them and trying to find the watch. And he found the watch. What he did, actually, he took the watch and then went to the person who lost the watch and put it in his pocket. And after that, everything went by clearly. Nobody started to ask the question, who was the thief and how did this happen? Years passed by. A couple of days, the person who actually stole the watch was so anxious that his name might be come in the media, or come in the class, or come in the university. Everybody started to say something to him or her, but nothing happened. Time has passed by, and those students who were studying at that university actually also graduated, and they went on their own careers and journey. And the person who stole that watch, they did a reunion after 8 years, and that person became a celebrity in the media. And he came back and he went straight to the professor and went straight into his legs and said, "I'm really, really, really thankful, and I'm really apologizing to you that you did not tell anybody that I was the thief at that time." And the professor said, "What you're talking about?" And he says, "You knew that I has actually stole the watch." And I said, "No, because I also had a ribbon on my eyes, so I don't want to see who was the thief at that time. I don't want to see. Why should I have to see? Whoever did whatever he did or she did, it was none of my business." Because what he taught, and he was so humble and so ashamed of his act at that time. He thought that my name will be cast, but the professor wasn't in that sort of a mindset. What he wanted to show that we are all human, mistake happens in life. We do not actually started to blame people, and creating a society where we have harmoniousness in between all of us. We look after each other, whether it is your brother, whether it is your sister, whether it is your sibling, whether it is your next door neighbor, whether you don't know somebody. If somebody says something to you, you rather forgive them instead of keeping that grudge. We started to create some uncertainty in life. So to have this society where we work in harmony and understand each other is not about Sam is a millionaire, then we should respect him. It's not about that. It's about everybody should have the equal respect for each other. It's not about that money matters. It's about human being matters more than the money. Money is a sort of a, what I call it, an energy when we respectfully use for that purpose of exchanging of our services and respect for each other. It's not about money used for some demand that, or you should respect me because I am the millionaire. So that's what my vision is, to have a creative society where we have harmonious relationship with each other. Wherever you are in the world, we have diversity, a pluralistic society, And that's what it's all about, working in harmonious way, working for each other instead of against each other.
Yeah, thank you very much. And what we are talking about, this harmony, this really is something that every person aspires to. This like something that every person wants to have in their lives. But it's not secret to us that we live in a consumer format of society today, and they're like this. The consumer format has consequences for all spheres of our life, and they affect all the relationships of people. Like as you said, money shouldn't like define ourselves, but like I don't need money to eat. I need food to eat. Yes, I don't like. I don't need money to move to my job. I need transport. I need. But sometimes people accumulate money in such great quantities that they will not spend in a lifetime, like several generations. But how can we lead to this harmonious society? So, like moving away from this consumer mindset.
The only way we can move from that consumer mindset is to come together and understand each other on a completely different level. And that's why emotional intelligence is very important, to understand each other. As you said, money is important for us to buy food. We have importance to use that money for our education. It's also for our clothing. You know, we all know Maslow hierarchy about we should have shelter, we should have food, we should have water, and we have these fundamental things. We have sufficient things in us, and if this is provided, if it is provided without any sort of liability on human beings, then it will become an harmonious society. We are working because, you know, we all have to bring and support each other in a way that it does not make a burden on somebody, because there are people who are very naive, and they are very naive in asking because they feel ashamed of asking, because they feel that this is not our right. But as we are creating some amazing way of living with people, it should be part of our own humanness that we support each other from the human ground instead of a materialistic ground. That charity starts from home. Charity doesn't start outside. If you are a charitable man or a woman, and if you do charity outside for a fame, that is not charity. Because if your family is suffering, if your family does not have enough money or food or clothes, that your charity does not make any sense, because people are always going to raise your name in the society because you are a great donor. But your family suffers a lot. Does it make any difference? No, I don't think so. For me, the creative society or the society should have a person who start the charity from his own family first, and then you started to distribute outside, because your family is the unit. You need to understand that we are working in harmony. It's not about working against each other. And that's why a lot of family becomes destroyed, because they see their seniors are distributing wealth to outsider to find a fame for themselves, but not to their family. And that's why they have this lot of clashes between siblings, because siblings as well. And that's where we have to start creating some harmonious way of connecting people on those grounds.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. I was also of the same opinion, and in fact, I agree with you You know, sometimes I ask myself this question: why do people seek fame? Why do people want to accumulate? Why do people want to, pay lip service to those priorities that are truly human? And my answer usually is that perhaps it's all about ego. It's all about, some selfishness. Either you want to be the one that, call the shots in your society, in your community. That is why you have to amass much money. You have to, do sycophantic charity donations and all that. And it all goes to how society, like Olga was saying, the consumer format of society where everybody's just looking out for himself, or herself alone. And then we were saying that in the creative society, it's about like what you rightly or positively put across is about looking out for one another, being there for the other. And then something again you said actually impresses me. You said, mistakes should be corrected with kindness. We don't have to judge, and then censor all the time. And most times when we censor and judge it, we even push the other person in a defensive. And instead of, collaborating, instead of cooperating, the person becomes rather aggressive. And that brings me to the question I want to ask you, that looking at the propaganda of violence today in the world, the aggression, the division, as well as many of the anti-humane manifestations in our society, what do you think each one of us should be doing, every one of us should be doing to contribute to building this creative society?
Very good question. This is quite a big area to start with. It starts with a small thing. As we all going through, let me recap something because if we all know that Alexander the Great was the biggest conqueror in the world, he conquered immense land around the globe, and when he was on his deathbed, he started call upon as many physicians to help him to cure his illness, but none of them were able to cure his illness. So when he was in his last stages of going to die, he said, when you lay me out on my hearse, make sure that you let my hand outside like this, so everybody can see my hands are empty. And all the wealth which I had collected in my entire journey, please let it outside on the road, so people can see my coffin is going, but I'm going empty handed. I'm not taking anything with me to the next world. Yeah. So those people who collect those all wealth is this transient world. We are living in a transient world. We are not living in a spiritual world. That's where their mindset is, and that's why they have this illness or disease in their system, in their body, which they can't see, because they only see that everything can be bought with money. But that's not the case. That's not the case. You can't buy love. You can't buy time. Time is the most precious commodity at this moment. Somebody says to you, I would like to spend an hour with you. You will check whether what is important, my hour with this person is important, or my hour is important with my family, because your family always comes first. And if your family doesn't come first, means you have some uncertainty in your life. Now, coming back to the next question of your canoe, when you says the people, everything has to start from a small seed. We have to sow a seed to start a generation. That again, it comes from a person when people says, oh, I would like to change the world. If you want to change the world, but the world is very big, you can't change the world. So he spent his 20 years trying to change the world. Now he reached to his 30s, and then he thought, I spent last 20 years trying to change the world. I rather change my country. So he spent another 20 years trying to change his country. Nothing changed. Then he thought, after 20 years, let me try to change my city. So he spent another 10 years trying to change his city. Nothing happened. Then he realizes, I first of all change myself before I change others. And that's where the started to occur the things. When you started changing yourself, you started to be self-aware, you started to understand your own emotions, then you started to understand other people's emotions. People have conflict about what things. If you say something to me, I do not understand. Rather than saying to you, sorry, I beg your pardon, I do not understand, I rather took it something differently, and that creates a completely different vacuum between two of us. It's not going to be a harmonious relationship. It's becoming a war between us. And that's what is happening in society right now. Instead of using a clean language, we are using jargons. We are not using a clean language. We are always think of, I am right, you are wrong. And that's how you are communicating with people, because you're showing that you have an upper hand on somebody. Instead of saying that we are equal over here, let me understand what you are saying. Please, I'm completely oblivious of what you are trying to explain. Please tell me in simple way. So that's how the dialogue has to happen with people. I understand we are living in a very fast society. People want things to be completed yesterday. It doesn't happen. But we have to learn to understand each other. And life is full of surprises. Journey is full of surprises. I would say enjoy the moment, because the moment passed by, it won't come back. So spend and interact within harmonious way. Forgive and forget and move on with life. It won't stop you achieving greater things in your life. And be generous. Be generous with your time, with your wealth, with your education, with everything what you have been graced by the Almighty. Be humble about it.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you have mentioned so many great examples, and especially the example of the emperor who wanted to be buried with his hands seen empty. It is like the example that was relevant 500 years ago. It is truly relevant still today, because people are the same, and the values that people should develop are the same. And these values are still, no matter how fast our technological progress is today, we still need the same love and the same kindness. And so, my next question to you would be, how can we create the conditions so that every person understands that it's not money and technologies and some image and respect are important, but that kindness and love and mutual respect are the most important things for everyone.
Thank you. So, it's again, we have to start from our childhood. This is all a condition. So there is one phrase which I use a lot of time, that we are born to win, conditioned to fail. Now, we are all winners. You can imagine we are all winners. Now, we are conditioned. So 7 years of age of a child is like, he's like a sponge. He's take everything. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do, I can speak this language, I speak that language, I can understand this and that, everything happens. But conditioning started to happen 7 years onwards, when your teacher says something to you, your parents says something to you, your sibling says something to you, every other relative says something to you. You started to condition about, people are trying to condition around you, not understanding. When you were a very little boy or a girl, you have a freedom of doing whatever you like to do. There was no such thing as you were being held down in any ways. As we grew up, we started to get conditioned from the family, from the society, from the culture, from a lot of things. Then the conditions started to happen, and this conditioning creates a ripple effect on your upwards journey, and that's where you started to feel I am being conditioned. And that's where you started to stop understanding some people, some cultures, some dynamic relationship which you started to have with different people. And there is one thing, if people who, there is one element which I want to add over here is we are being conditioned in a way, but we can uncondition everything if we like to, is we have to put our mind to it. Now, let me give you an example over here. If you have been to a circus, if anybody who's listening, ever been to a circus, you would have seen an elephant. An elephant which has a small rope around his leg, and they have this big spike put into the sort of mud or earth, where they just hold the elephant. You can imagine elephant is about 20 tons, and there's a very light rope around it. Don't you think that the elephant can run away from that? Of course, but he has been conditioned. So he was, let's say for example, a newly born elephant baby just arrived. What they did, they put a big chain around his leg, and they put a big spike on the ground next to his mother, where he can just go for milk and eat, and then milk and eat, but he can't run away from there. Even the mother is going everywhere, but he can't, because he been conditioned. So he's constantly running away, but he can't run away because he's been conditioned. So after 3 months, they take this big chain out and put a small rope around. Now he is conditioned that he is not going to move anywhere further from that field. Same with humans, we have been conditioned. We have been told this is right, this is wrong from the early stages of our life. And that's what needs to be changed slowly and gradually from our childhood. We have to start teaching our children to have an open dialogue with them. What is required them to understand that society has to be harmonized. We need to bring leaders who understand from the self-awareness, from that self-awareness side of it, that they understand the pain of the person who has been killed in the different country, in a different culture, why we are fighting for those things, when we have to understand that we are all human beings. Yeah. Now Kanu is sitting in Africa, you are sitting in Ukraine, I'm sitting in UK. This is technological wall, we are talking to each other. Yeah. And we are on the same frequency of light we all have in us, and we are connecting with that light as well. So if I want to send a message or a prayer to somebody around the globe, I can send a prayer, and that prayer will reach to that person, because that's my intention, to send that prayer to that person. And that's how we started to create this from the childhood. When you create this from the childhood, creating that harmonious way of learning to live with people in a same society, with the same, with the understanding of pluralistic society and diversity, and understanding that this is what is all about, understanding about each other. There is no hierarchy being created. So that's where this all has to start from the early stages for bringing this society to the next level.
Wow, wow, wow. You know, you know, when son was talking, I remember the conversation I had with my daughter. She's just 9. She came to me and said, "Daddy, do you know that children pretend?" So I said, "What do you mean, children pretend?" He said, "Yeah, sometimes that the parents want children to, excel in school. Parents want children to excel in music, to learn this and learn that. But sometimes the children just pretend." Why my mind went there is about this conditioning. You see, like in the format of society we operate today, all we teach our children is, how to excel in life. That excellence doesn't take into account some of these priorities you just mentioned. Doesn't take about, it's about competitiveness. Oh, you have to be the best. Even if how do we say it? All the end justifies the means. So it doesn't matter as long as you are successful in life materially, then you have arrived. But sometimes we are also suffering from this consumer format of conditioning, where our children, they live this double, let me say, double standard or double personality. A child wants to please his parents, but that's not actually what he or she would have loved for himself. So that is where I'm in love with this emotional intelligence thing, because understanding of the emotion of one's emotion, will help him to understand the other person's emotion. And it's all about, human being. And if the priority is on human being, then that means those foundations that we are talking about, foundations of certain freedom for a man, for every human to decide, even though we may say a child has not reached the age of decision at a certain age of his development, but then a creative society should be able to provide, we develop, with some modicum of freedom to express himself, but in such a way that he learns that, look, society can only exist when there is harmony, when there are those priorities like kindness, like love, like mutual assistance, and all that you just mentioned. And that takes me to the next question for you, Sam. In a creative society, what do you think will be, your role? Professionals like you, what will the professional sphere look like in a creative society? I'm asking as a specialist, what do you think need to be changed, or what do you think will be changed in your profession in a creative society?
I would say creating leaders who understand their own emotions, so they can understand the emotions of other human beings. Because we need leaders who have to have followers who understand that we are all humans, we are all being here to serve each other in a different capacity, because I can't do what Kanu or what Olga can do, and vice versa, because we are all special, we are all unique in our own ways. We have special gifts which we only can dig inside to find out. I can see there is a gift in you, Olga, or can see the gift in Kanu, because the way I look at things is completely different the way you look at things. So that's where I see that creating people who understand that we are all unique in our own ways, and we can be able to create a greater society to bring those uniqueness, so they can all be placed in one place where all will get the resources full and find each other in a different level of greatness, because that's what is all about, sharing and caring within the society. And that's where the leaders comes in with this sort of gifts of creating harmony and I would say accomplishment comes together when we are all working in with a one vision to create something greater for the human society. I might not be alive by the time a lot of things comes together in a good place, but when we sow a seed now, you will see that it will replenish, or it will help your children, so to see something better, and they will remember, oh yeah, my grandfather did something. So these are the legacy we are going to leave for our children.
Thank you very much. You just mentioned one, like the key point of the project of the Creative Society, that we should have one idea and one vision, and we have to be united by one goal. And like for the platform of the ALLATRA International Public Movement, it is the foundations of the Creative Society, and they are the building blocks of the Creative Society. That can help us to nurture the mutual respect and kindness, and help us to create the platform for the Creative Society. And a very important message you also had, that we've been conditioned to live in such a world we live today, but we can change, like the trick is we can change the conditions, and the foundations that you can check them at our website Allatraunites.com. These foundations can help us to change the narrative, to change the format. And so you've seen the article, Foundations and Stages of the Creative Society, that you can check again at our website. And now we would like to ask you to, like you've already checked them, can you please choose one of the foundations, maybe, so we can discuss it more deeply?
I would say the creativity and how the creativity can be enhanced in our society.
Yeah, so like it would be the foundation creative ideology as the fifth foundation. I will ask technical support to put creative ideology on screen. I'll read it out loud for you again. So, the ideology should be aimed at popularizing the best human qualities and at the extinction of everything that is directed against the human. The main priority is the priority of humanness, high spiritual and moral aspirations of a humanity, virtue, mutual respect, and strengthening of friendship, creating the conditions for the development and education of a human with a capital H, cultivating moral values in each person in society, prohibition of propaganda of violence, condemnation, and denunciation of any form of division, aggression, and anti-humane manifestations. So we see this foundation as one that can help us to form the education that would help people to be more creative and to live in the world where the ideology is only focused on creativity. Sorry for giving my opinion already. Looking forward to your answer.
So I would say, ideology of creativity is very key to society, because I think education is free at the moment. If people want to learn, if you want to understand, you want to take the next, because majority of things are available is about individual, whether he or she is ready to receive those things. Now, society can bring a lot of opportunities for each and everybody, but as I said earlier, that is individual choice whether they are ready to receive those things. And with this notion of free education, working in a non-conditioned area where we can receive those things, should be open to all. There shouldn't be any hierarchy between whether you are from this culture or that culture, or from this religion or that religion. It should be open to everybody, and everybody should be entitled to achieve this without being sanctioned of being what their culture is, what their caste is, what their color is. It shouldn't be that. And that's where the development of this society needs to be, bring on this all creativity, so we are all working in harmonious way.
Yeah, it is true, and it is truly like the goal of the project of the Creative Society, and it's not some idea that is like an idea of a bunch of people. It is truly like the goal and the desire of people, because it is the world where people truly want to live. Yeah, and okay, and then we would like to remind our guests that this broadcast is within the framework of handshakes. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we want our guests to discuss the initiative. And so to start the time, sorry for the sounds, that our guest would invite someone for our future broadcast. So Sam, who would you like to invite to the future interview? And maybe we really hope to see you as a co-host, that you can also share your vision and ask questions.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So I would like to invite Ritu Sharma She is a founder of Koshelia UK, charity in the UK here, and she does empowerment for women, and that's where she's an ambassador for women empowerment, and I will highly recommend her to be on your TV to share her insight as how women can be given empowerment to successfully bring a creative society a new direction towards a successful place where all the women can be treated equally, and there shouldn't be any hierarchy of that. Men are all strong, and because of they are strong, they should be given the preferences. But women are also equal, even though we understand the society does not look at that way. But we need to create something different because we are all human. We all should be working in the same way. And then that's why I would highly recommend if you invite Ritu Sharma to your TV to share her vision for the Creative Society.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. We will reach out to your nominee and see how fast we could invite her for our future program. And talking about this Creative Society, I think it's all about the more people get to know about it, the faster we can bring it about. I know I haven't listened to you, Sam. It's just a formality if I ask you, would you love to live in a creative society?
Of course, without a doubt. That will create a greater opportunity for working with like-minded people, because that's where all things comes together. It's not about, as I said, living in a harmonious way or working in a harmonious conditions, understanding each other in a completely different vibration. And that's where all the nurture will start to come together. That's what the universe wants, people to live in a society which is less violent, less corrupted, and has a harmonious way of living together. Yeah, why people wants to live in Austria, or people wants to live in a country where there is no crime rates, because the societies are being created in a different ways over there, and that's how people wants to live together. And that's where I love to live in a society which does not have anything like where we are being told to follow, instead of I would say to share your vision and understand that we are all equal. That's what I want to see.
That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. And of course, we would like also to ask our viewers if you would like to live in a creative society and share this idea and participate in our live broadcasts. Please contact us by the email info@allatraunites.com. You'll find it below this video. And you can also join the project at the allatraunites.com website. At the website, at the right corner, you'll find the button join, and there you can fill a short form. And if you would like to be informed about our projects or start participating, we really welcome you to do it.
Yeah, and dear viewers, if you have really enjoyed this program, you can share it on the social network using these two hashtags, #ALLATRAUnites and then #CreativeSociety. Thank you, Sam, for this very enriching and inspiring conversation we've had with you. It's very, very educating. And Olga, I wanted to ask you, Sam said he would like to live in a creative society. I'm also thumping up for creative society. What about you?
I truly want to live in a creative society, and we will live, because Sam told something about that we will not see it, but if we join hands, I strongly believe that we have already joined hands, and it means that we'll really live in the creative society. So, and thank you everyone for this really enjoyable conversation. We had so many examples. Thank you, Sam, so much. Thank you, Camille. We really hope to see you again in our
Yes. Thank you very much for the opportunity, for bringing me onto the platform and giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts with your audience and your viewer. I'm really, really humble. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you, everyone. See you
Bye-bye.
soon again on ALLATRA TV.
See all of you.